Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I would like to share a little bit material about procedural text or writing, but specifically in business activities. So generally, we'll discuss, or in this video, I will discuss about how to make a procedural text or writing. I'm sure you have read this kind of writing in your daily activities, like when you visit a bank or when you make a transaction into e-commerce and so on. So, but the challenge is how usually we are the reader, but in here I would like to ask you to practice. You're not the reader or you're not the audience, but you're the one who make the text. So that's why it is called a procedural text or writing. So you're the one who will be making the text, not the reader, not the audience. Okay, let's start. Sorry. Okay, so what is a procedural text or writing? Basically, it's about text and writings to instruct your audience to complete a specific task. Jadi ini saya ngomong bahasa Inggris ya dari tadi. Oke, jadi ini seperti judulnya, as you may have known. Jadi ini writing atau tulisan yang memberikan instruksi, ya, memberikan instruksi kepada target audiens kita agar menyelesaikan suatu tujuan. Di sini bilangnya specific task, ya. So it doesn't have to be a task, it could be any activities, but in sequential, ya. Jadi berurutan, gitu ya. Umumnya, generally this then falls into two categories: how to make something and how to do something. So again, it's general form. So one is how to make something, or the other one is how to do something. You can also make your own coffee while you're listening to this video. So again, that's two categories: how to make something and how to do something. So but overall, it's about information in written form, ya. Jadi bentuknya informasi dalam bentuk tulisan. But that's the basic of procedural writing. Mungkin berikutnya kita akan kembangkan bagaimana Anda menyampaikannya kepada target audiens. Cuman untuk kali ini saya fokus ke tulisan dulu, ya. Main purpose-nya adalah provide sequence information or direction. Again, sequence, ya. Sequence information means information in a phase, a layer of phases, gitu ya. Jadi informasi yang berurutan, gitu ya. Namanya aja prosedural, ya. Jadi harus informasinya itu bentuknya itu urutan, gitu. Itulah disebut sebagai instruction yang tadi di awal, gitu ya. Nah, some common forms. The first one is direction, how to I get somewhere. So usually when you're visiting, I don't know, Yogyakarta or maybe Jakarta or Bali, and you have no idea where you're going to, you usually ask some local people there, and ask, where should I go to, I don't know, some village in Lombok, or maybe some island in Labuan Bajo or something. So you ask the local people, and the local people usually give you information about, first you should take a bus, and then you get off in certain terminal, and then you have to rent a car, and those sort of things, and give you the direction. Or maybe when you visit Yogyakarta, some foreigner will ask you about, where should I go to Borobudur, and you have to give them the clear direction how to get there and where to get there. Ya, jadi ini yang paling umum adalah direction. How do I get somewhere? The second one is instruction. How do I do something? How do I do something? It could be any daily activities, both in business or not in business activities. Like in business, usually when you open a bank account, or when you want to have a tax ID registration, or when you register as a student. So the point is answering the question of how do I do something. The third is recipes. This is currently my favorite things of procedural text, because I have to make a food every day to live here. So in the form of recipes, the text, the question is, how do I cook something? So you, I'm sure you have all understand that, you have all know the form, and you maybe follow some YouTubers that share their cooking recipes. So I'm sure you have all known about this form of procedural text. Rules for games. So when you play any kind of game, not online game, but usually a board game, card games, or maybe traditional games that I'm not quite sure if you have any experience of that, but it's fun actually. My generation usually play this kind of games because we haven't been introduced on cell phone, internet. So my generation usually played activities, like physical activities, in any kind of games. So I'm familiar with those kind of games, board games, traditional games that includes the physical games, and then the card games. I usually play with my grandparents. I don't know if you have played any of those, but you should try. Jadi seperti itu ya, rules for the games macam-macam. Jadi kalian bisa nggak tahu kalian pernah nyoba apa enggak, ada main kartu, main board game tuh bisa monopoli, bisa Dragon and Dungeon, all those kind of games. You should try one of those. Letakkan handphone, mainan-mainan di handphone itu coba disisihkan sebentar, coba kalian main card game lah. Kalian bisa main Uno, atau Uno Stack, atau kalian bisa main Monopoly. That's one of the game that give you the stimulus to do a strategical thinking and analytical thinking, so you should play with your friend on a weekend or something. Manuals, how do I operate this? It's you can find this in any electronic devices when you bought new devices like cell phone, computer, or any electronic devices. Usually you found certain phases of how to operate those devices. 2 days ago, I tried to do self-test of antigen. So I found the manuals inside the box how to do the self-test antigen. So it's so clear, and it adds a little, not a little bit, actually every step they put a picture in every step of it, so it's really helpful and it gives me a clear information of how I use it. So next time if I use it again, I will be remembering the exact same thing and hopefully not get it wrong. So it's a good information, it's a good manuals, and that's how you make a procedural text and writing. So you have to make it clear. You don't have to make it long, but you have to make it clear and concise. Concise itu apa ya? Concise itu ringkas gitu ya. Ringkas, nggak usah panjang-panjang karena kalian tidak membuat novel ya, tapi kalian membuat manuals ya. The last common forms is agendas. What are we doing? We usually use this as in our meeting or PowerPoint when you make a presentation to your teacher, to your friends, your colleagues, your boss. At the second slide, you usually put the agenda. So what's the agendas of this presentation? What's the agendas of the meeting? It includes the content, it includes who's responsible to do certain tasks or to do certain assignments. So that's why the agendas is one of the form that will answer the question of what are we doing. Jadi ini umum sekali ya agenda ini ya. Nanti kita akan coba beberapa macam, but on this session I will ask you to make specifically in instruction. How do I do something? Okay. Next, structure and features. It's the general, what is not forms, but yeah, structure and features. So it's part of the procedural text or writing. Regarding the structure, you have to put the heading. So what's the title? Jadi apa titelnya, apa judulnya ya, headingnya apa. Section, keep everything organized, in order, jangan lupa harus urut ya. Subheading, if you need that, it's optional actually. You can put it or you cannot put it. It depends on the forms. It depends on what kind of forms that you will be making. Sequence, of course, urut ya. That's the part of the structure. And then what is the point in features is vocabulary. Use technical and specialized terms. So you have to understand what kind of forms and what's the goal of the instruction, or what's the agenda, of the rules, of the manual, or each of these have specific vocabularies that is also common to be used in different forms. So you have to pick the right vocabularies and make sure that your target audience understand that. Tense, always write in present tense, so you don't have to think about future tense or past tense or past perfect, future, all those kind of tenses. No, you just have to use one simple tense, and that is a present tense. Flow, use connective and conjunction related to time to indicate the chronological order of the action. If, for example, if you make a recipes, let's say boil the beef about 10 minutes. So you have to put precisely the time to assure that the goal of the recipes to make something, how to cook something, is achieved. So you have to put those kind of conjunction. Or maybe rules for games, like when you found a certain type of card, you have to stop, and then you need, or I don't know, you have to buy another, you have to open another card or some sort of thing. So that's the function of using the connectives and conjunctions. But you don't have to, you don't have to use every single point in here. I mean, like it's just part of the common or the general structures and features in procedural writings. Jadi kalian nggak perlu pakai semuanya sih sebenarnya ya. Jadi tergantung formnya itu apa, balik lagi tergantung formnya apa, dan menjawab nggak pertanyaan di sini gitu. Details nggak harus, sekali lagi, di seberapa detail, it depends on the goal. Again, it depends on the question, and it depends on what's the need from the target audience. So you have to understand. And visuals, apa ya, ditambahkan dengan gambar, panah dan sebagainya. Tapi untuk itu nanti tugas nanti ya. But from here, I will just ask you to make a written a text and procedural, only in written. Maybe next week I'm gonna ask you to make it as in PowerPoint or something. But for now, I will be just asking you to make a written text. Oke, ini komponennya. 4 pillars of procedures, goal and aim. Goalnya itu apa? Jadi terus steps-nya seperti apa, resource-nya seperti apa, conclusion-nya seperti apa. Resources, it includes the document, or the document requirements, or the, I don't know, maybe some tools, or what else? So some or certain amount of money. So resources ini maksudnya ini ya, misalkan dokumen yang dibutuhkan, kayak misalkan untuk apply tertentu harus ada dokumen ABC gitu. Kalau misalkan resep tadi, kayak misalkan untuk membuat bumbu ini harus menggunakan bawang putih, bawang merahnya harus di blender gitu, misalkan itu resources ya. Atau kalau misalkan untuk buka rekening minimal harus ada sekian rupiah gitu, that's part of the resources. So what will I need ya. Konklusinya adalah, have I done it, what next. Jadi conclusion, you don't have to put it now in written text, but when you make a presentation in form of presentation with visuals, with audios, you have to make sure that the conclusion the conclusion that you make is also understood by your audience. So that's the point. Nah, ini yang penting. No matter what, how you explain things, you need to cover these essentials. So even though you're the one who make the text, even though you're the one who makes the writings and the presentation later on, you have to see it from the view of audience ya. Jadi meskipun nanti kalian yang membuat ya, tapi kalian harus melihat itu dari sisi audiensnya. Ketika kalian buat dan kalian switch your view ya, kalian sebagai audiens, kalian baca lagi teks kalian paham nggak gitu? Kalian paham nggak? Kalian kalau misalkan kalian melaksanakan dari instruksi yang kalian buat sendiri, bukan instruksi, dari tulisan yang kalian buat sendiri, dari prosedur yang kalian buat sendiri, kira-kira kalian bisa melaksanakan itu nggak gitu. Nah, jadi that's the main point of the conclusion actually. Oke, berikutnya this is only several things that I add in this point of procedural text. Answer the right question. Jadi yang tadi forms tadi ada apa tadi ya? Ada instruction, recipes, rule of games, manual. What is the first form? What is the first form? Sorry, the first form with direction. Jadi answer the right question, and this question is correlated with the need of your audience. Jadi harus tahu aim-nya itu apa, goal-nya itu apa, dan goal itu terkait sama kebutuhan dari audiensnya ya. Jadi you have to know what the audience want and need and what to achieve what goal ya, untuk mencapai goal yang mana. Jadi yang penting adalah ini, this four pillars of procedures, the goal, the step, the resources, and whether or not the conclusion, and then what's the need of your audience, which specific audience that needs a certain type of procedural text. Jadi audiens yang butuh resep dengan audiens yang butuh instruction dengan audiens yang butuh direction will be different one to another, so you have to understand what specific need from your audience gitu ya. Again, after you make the writing, you have to change your view from the perspective of audience, then by then you will make the conclusion whether or not your procedural text would be understood or not gitu ya. Don't forget to make it concise, coherent, and use present tense seperti yang tadi. I just want to make the emphasize here that in procedural text you don't have to make it long, make it concise. One step, probably maximum 2 or 3 sentences. You don't have to make it like 4 or 5. That's a paragraph. So the maximum of each step usually only for 2 or 3 sentences. So pay attention on that, and coherent. So don't make it overlap one to another, so you have to make it as coherent. Jadi coherent itu apa ya, saling bersambung gitu ya, jadi tidak overlap satu dengan yang lain, nanti step A ternyata mirip sama step B gitu misalkan. So be careful on that ya. Jadi and use present tense again. So you don't have to think about other tenses. Focus on present tense. This is the reference that I use. You can check it in this link. or the book in I think there is a certain books in this section, so you can check it again. I think it's mentioned in RPS, so you have to check it. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Keep practicing. Don't forget to update your vocabularies in the link that I've shared in the first meeting, and keep practicing your speaking, keep practicing your writing, your reading. One paragraph or 2 paragraphs each day would be more than enough. So keep practicing. Don't give up. You can master English as long as you have the willing to practice. Yeah. Okay, good luck. I will give you the instruction of the assignment in Spada, so keep updated and again keep practicing. Okay, thank you. Saya akhiri dulu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.